Just kidding. Bad universe. Well, I know what I was thinking, and I'm pretty sure it was the same thing that everyone else was thinking. Phil Plait, high definition, explosion, CGI comic book graphics. Holy shit! This is gonna be awesome! Okay, so fair warning, this is not going to be a glowing review. First of all, just to get these criticisms out of the way, there are two arbitrary annoyances I'd like to address. Arbitrary insofar as most science-based shows are just as guilty of these annoyances, and their presence has no bearing on the show's perceived skepticism. Arbitrary annoyance number 1! This is yet another show in a long list of shows that I like to refer to as not Mythbusters. In fact, when I watched the premiere the first time, it was with my Muggle friends, and their immediate post-viewing response was, well, it was sure trying really hard to be Mythbusters. Bastards didn't even give me a chance to think that the Emperor was wearing clothes. Arbitrary annoyance number 2! This is what I consider to be a cardinal sin of many modern science shows, even good science shows, and that is the idea that in order to make science cool and or fascinating, you have to make it scary.
How much cobalt is in here?
It would be enough to probably kill us all right now, just from our little conversation so far.
I'm sure that's how scientists answer questions all the time when a producer's not in the room. What kind of tool is that, Professor? The kind that can gouge eyes out, slut! Like I said, Bad Universe is not unique in this respect, and let's be honest, the subject matter is pretty darn scary. I mean, you couldn't possibly do a subject like the death of a planet with a genuine sense of wonder and fascination without scaremongering, right?
Such astonishingly varied, beautiful, and violent and dead worlds out there across the solar system.
Oh. In fairness, Phil doesn't have a British accent or that ex-rock star salt and pepper come fuck me hairdo. Of course, neither does Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he booked Cosmos, bitch! Sorry, I thought I heard a producer come in. The funny thing is that my two arbitrary annoyances were probably the actual pitch the producers of Bad Universe made to the studio. This is gonna be Mythbusters meets Disaster Science Program. With some skepticism. Yeah, we'll see. Come on, guys, I'm the president of the JREF. There's gotta be some skepticism. Tell you what, Phil, baby, we'll write something about debunking into the intro, okay? Okay, buddy? Okay. Who's my bad astronomer? Me. Who's my bad astronomer? I am. That's right. Not a real issue. My biggest gripe with Bad Universe is over the feature it shares with many forms of bullshit, especially consumer bullshit, bait and switch.
Pop culture has played fast and loose with the facts. And quite often, the things we think we know are all wrong. And when you're dealing with the universe, ignorance can be deadly. That's where I come in. I'm Phil Plait. I'm an astronomer on a mission. My job is to debunk all the junk science out there in pursuit of the truth.
Oh shit, this is gonna be like Mythbusters and Penn & Teller's bullshit, hosted by Richard Wiseman. I mean Phil Plait, whatever, it's gonna be awesome! However, despite all evidence to the contrary, there wasn't a whole lot of skepticism or even science going on.
I'm a scientist and a skeptic. Science tells us we're probably not alone. But if that's the case, where are they? Maybe space travel is just as hard for the aliens as it is for us.
Yeah, that's not really debunking junk science. Maybe postulating a hypothetical question to a brash assumption? Maybe?
Life has been on Earth for hundreds of millions of years, and we have no evidence at all that we've ever been attacked by alien bugs.
Yeah, take that, you alien bug invasion true believers.
Could life have started on Mars and been transported to Earth? I don't know. This idea is really hard to prove, but it sure is interesting.
Hey, I can't see too well. Is that Harry Houdini over there? I mean, seriously, you might as well say that Bear Grylls is debunking junk science because he happens to be informative and dismissive of bad ideas.
The ice screw froze solid to his lips, and by the time he'd peeled it off, his lips, his tongue, his mouth was just pouring with blood. But the way to get it off is just to pee on it. Like that.
The premise of the show should be more like, I'm going to create small-scale tests to give plausible answers to hypothetical questions based on speculative scenarios. So strap in! Then again, this review itself is sort of a bait and switch, since the premise of this series is to review skeptical shows, that is, shows that go after, or at least have a go at false claims, which Bad Universe is clearly not, but it made the false claim of being a skeptical show, and I, like the 5 other people who bothered to watch it, was duped into thinking it was gonna be, so it made the fucking list! Look, I'm not saying that you have to put skepticism into your science show. There's nothing wrong with just being informative. Tyson does it all the time with his Nova specials, and hopefully with the new Cosmos. Please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck. But this show wasn't even doing that. It was pretending to do science in order to blow shit up and kind of sort of reference some scientific information, barely. I mean, this show will convince your 12-year-old that they're ready to be a NASA advisor. Is that paper mache?
When this thing goes off, it's going to be like a bomb going off in a fireworks factory.
Or like a bomb going off. Because it is literally just a bomb. Yep, just a bomb. But don't worry about your kids. All the parents I talked to said their children never watched past the first episode. Maybe the Mythbusters are onto something with this whole conducting actual experiments to test actual hypotheses to answer actual questions thing. Nah, we just want to see shit blown up on the high speed. Another thing that pissed me off was the cool factor. Look, it doesn't matter how much hip and cool you jizz over everything, some stuff is still boring. And that's okay. Sometimes, in fact a lot of times, retrieving information is boring and it feels patronizing when you keep trying to sex it up. It's like when your mom tries to turn doing your chores into a game.
Who's going to get the high score of dishes tonight?
Fuck you, Mom, that's who! The last time I could think of something so badly missing the mark of its own subject matter were the Star Wars prequels. Now, of course, this is wrought with hyperbole since there have only been a half dozen or so overtly skeptical shows, whereas there have been hundreds of blockbuster action movies. And as Bad Universe is, and it is bad,
Holy hollyocolo.
it doesn't make me want to kill myself. And unlike George, I'm sure Phil still has to answer to people and cough up a great deal of creative control. But bear with me while I take this hyperbolic analogy for just one spin on the dance floor. Not only did we see an iconic figure of their respective genre take all the right elements and completely lose the plot, but much like George made the 3 prequels and decided to pack up his lenses and walk away, not that George has actually touched a lens in the last 30 years, I fear that the 3 episodes of Bad Universe might be Phil Plait's last soiree into the world of skepticism. I hope it's not, but I didn't see Phil at last year's TAM, and he's not going to be at this year's TAM. In fact, I haven't seen him pop up on the speaker list for a skeptic convention in quite some time. I fear that we've seen the last days of Phil Plait the skeptic, and I'm not sure why. I know that he received some negative feedback a couple years ago, but hey, if you present an ultimatum in the form of a Rorschach test to a convention full of skeptics, you're gonna get some backlash. It depends upon what the meaning of the word dick. Rookie mistake, Phil? Like telling your angry significant other to calm down. You're just gonna piss them off. I hope that one day he can forgive and understand the inevitable blow-up that occurs when you make an empty statement that creates a false dichotomy in the faces of those who you love. I hope that it's not too late to make amends, and to invite Phil Plait back into our hearts where there is surely still a place waiting for him because, hey, we miss you, Phil.
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 Wait. The IIG seriously gave Phil Plait an award for being a part of this show? Unless it was an award for the first skeptical science program to neither do skepticism or science, please discuss, then what the fuck? Hold on. He didn't even show up in person to accept the award? God. What a dick. Hey, thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. If you like what you see and you want us to produce more episodes more frequently, feel free to leave a donation. But as always, no pressure.